Why watch one Chuck Norris movie when you can watch 3? After all, Top Dog can't be the only Norris movie we spotlight on the show. You might be saying, do I have to watch any Chuck Norris movie? The answer is yes. We're watching canon films, so it's either one of the two Chucks, Norris or Bronson. And in 1984, the Charles Bronson movie, The Evil That Men Do, surprisingly wasn't a canon film, so we're going with 84's Missing in Action. It's the 80s genre of what if we went back to Vietnam and kicked freaking arse? How do we get our boys out 10 years after the war ended? You send in Chuck Norris. All of the Norris jokes imply that he single-handedly could finish the Vietnam War. Plus, he got there a year before we got the similar Sylvester Stallone movie, Rambo First Blood Part 2. This is an early entry in the genre known as vetsploitation. And also one of those cases where the producers were like, we know Rambo 2 is gonna be a big hit, but we couldn't afford the rights to make Rambo 2 ourselves, so we're gonna go with a lower budgeted twin film. Cannon was very aware of James Cameron's early script for Rambo 2, and with their team, they worked their asses off to get this out early as not to get sued by the Rambo people. They had very high hopes for this one, and it paid off. Its box office success made Chuck Norris a go-to guy for Cannon, as this was the first of many films he did with the company in the 1980s. It was even made back-to-back with 85's Missing in Action 2, which is a unique story, actually. But we'll get to that when we talk about that film. This has some names that aren't surprising attached to it. Lance Houle, the director of MIA 2, approached Norris with his movie idea of rescuing POWs, and Houle was already a producer on some Bronson movies like 10 to Midnight and The Evil That Men Do, while the screenwriter, James Bruner, worked with Norris a lot too, previously on 81's Eye for an Eye, and later on Delta Force and Invasion USA. It was also a good year for director Joseph Zito, who directed both this and Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter. He brought Eric Anderson along with him too, Rob from Friday the 13th Part 4. Plus, Final Chapter cinematographer João Fernandes worked on this, and between this film and Breakin', it's another Where's Waldo film for Jean-Claude Van Damme. You got James Hong here too. He can go up against Chuck Norris. We already saw him try to exorcise a ninja demon in Ninja 3. So get yourself to a place that can withstand any explosion, because the Missing in Action trilogy may have a few, give or take.
I'm watching my video. I'm watching my video. Oh, watching my video. Sure looks good to me.
I think we're in for a high volume of 80s action with this one. You know why? There's helicopter sounds playing over the Cannon logo. That blasting of horns and gunfire has me clutching my popcorn in excitement. Wait, Jay Chataway? I know that name. No, not from his Star Trek work. He did music for the Fred Williamson movie The Big Score. Let's hope there's significantly less heroes killing dogs in this one. And we know Joseph Zito knows how to film trees. He has Jason Voorhees on speed dial. Really, Jason's the one who should have been sent in to conquer Nam. He'd survive the explosions. Obviously inspired by James Cameron's script to Avatar as well. Chuck Norris is the star. He's the only one who doesn't need a helmet. That hair will deflect any bullet that dares come near it. One shot even looks like he does explode. We don't have the budget to show his pieces forming back together, but rest assured that's probably what happened. He's getting all of these men out. They've had enough of their vacation to the Philippines. It's a low-budget 80s action movie. It doesn't matter what war you're in. We're filming in the Philippines. The 80s equivalent of low-budget action movies now being filmed in Louisiana somewhere. I should probably show one line of dialogue. Of course, it's someone screaming for choppers. That's all you need to know about these scenes. Not sure if this is a flashback to the Vietnam War or the yearly Norris family reunion where they play the most epic game of capture the flag ever conceived. Not everyone will make it out, though. On the plus side, that man will provide a nice dinner for the Amazon Cannibal movie getting filmed nearby. I haven't said his character's name yet, but do I really need to? Who needs character names? You're here to see Chuck Norris running and things randomly blowing up. And it's not likely bullets are gonna put a stop to him. That's not gonna kill him, that's just gonna turn him into a human hand grenade. Okay then, now I know what a Chuck Norris wet dream looks like. So okay, I guess I can talk about his character now. Norris plays James Braddock, who, of all things, is named after Benjamin Braddock of The Graduate, as kind of a joke in naming a character after someone who wouldn't be an action hero. I can't wait for Delta Force, where Norris stars as Sergeant Dobie Gillis. Braddock seems to live a cozy life, waking up each day drinking pure gasoline and watching women in the shower. It's from 1984, I assume that's what he's doing. Oh, it's a street. False alarm. Wait, the hell? Is he daydreaming now? Must be why he's not watching anyone in the shower. That doesn't turn him on. Spliced in war footage does. Like I'm watching a Nam version of Inchon. I don't know who any of these side characters are. No! Brooklyn Joe! Well, I'm probably hard. Guess I can finish myself off with a nice pull-out spread from this month's Guns and Ammo. What is he watching? Damn, people don't give Spider-Man enough credit for defeating Dr. Ok Chi Min. Now he's just Menachem Golan dealing with the headache of trying to make their unmade Spider-Man movie. This is the inspiration Braddock needed to accept his new mission.
This is Braddock. I'll go.
Put me on the next flight to Sears. I need a new television set so I don't miss the all-new episode of Mask. Here he's joining Senator Porter to go back to Nam. I think I know what's going on here. He and James Hong are going into business together. That's David Tress. He and Hong were both in the Chinese restaurant Seinfeld episode. It's a pleasure to meet both of you.
Colonel.
Rudeness will not win anything, Braddock. It's like a class reunion. He's seeing all kinds of familiar faces. That's North Vietnamese General Wolfman Jack. Oh boy, do I remember how tough he was during fitness week in gym class. He's gonna bang all the coaches' ex-wives and is played by Lenore Kasdorf, Hayden's ex-wife Beth from Coach. Let's do it right in City Hall. He's here for the press conference about whether or not there's still POWs in Nam. Plus, they'll also be announcing which government experiment will be fighting Rocky Balboa next. The evil general has witnesses, though, to really stick it to Braddock.
These people were eyewitnesses to some of the war crimes committed by Colonel Braddock.
Hey, since when is it a war crime to blow off half my ass to save my favorite chicken coop? He's so serious he even took off his sunglasses. It's a courtroom thriller now. Braddock will get all the witnesses to change their stories by looking them straight in the eyes with a piercing look known as the America Bro. I thought we had something together, Con Chow. They try saying he was in a Vietnamese prison for being a loose cannon.
Why don't you tell us why there was a price on my head?
For your war crimes, of course.
For killing assholes like you.
You blew up a whole village only because it was Tuesday, Braddock! What's a price on your head when there's complimentary Coors Light at this reunion?
I see you've come up in the world.
I'm the manager of a Stuckey's now. I love small talk in a movie like this.
Colonel Braddock, there is a question I've been wanting to ask you.
Where can I get a suit jacket and shirt that says Bob Vila visits the Met Gala? And I can already feel this sexual chemistry returning to the hotel, going their separate ways so they can each fall asleep to a rerun of Mannix. Wait, never mind, I know this part. It's when they almost finally hook up before he uncovers a secret passageway to find the thuggy cult where all the POWs are being held. He moves fast in all areas.
Just what do you think you're doing?
What does it look like?
My lovemaking is like my missions. I get in and out like I wasn't even there. That's not romantic, Braddock. So he's actually putting on his spy gear to sneak outside to see if there's at least one Perkins in the area that's open 24 hours. At least he knows exactly who to avoid when everyone stands around looking sinister. It makes it easier to choose who to kill.
Daddy?
That was just the meter maid, you asshole! Let's take a break. He's deeply regretting not bringing a mask. The beard and hair doesn't shadow your face as much as you think it does, Braddock.
No one believed it could happen here until it was too late. They wanted a war. He gave them one. Chuck Norris, Invasion USA.
Starts Friday at a theater near you. Check your local listings.
We're back, people, and I think he's found James Hong. Just as I suspected, part man, part mosquito. Scoot over, motherfucker. You put me in a microtel. My prison hole had more room. This was easy enough. He gets him to spill the beans right away about where the POWs are being held. Now where's this gonna go? Chuck has always been America's power top. But James Hong has to exit the movie fast. You're needed right away on set for an A-Team episode this year. Now he can return back to his hotel room where he and Anne can finally finish off that wine. Bad news, I didn't see a Perkins, but good news, they have a Fuddruckers. It helps that the enemy is oblivious as hell. Nope, nothing going on here. Just raining sparks again, like usual. Hurry, Braddock, your cover's about to be blown!
I suppose he's been here with you all night.
That's right.
You're not fooling anyone. If your chemistry was any worse, you'd be in Bolero. General Nin isn't gonna be as nice as James Hong.
You leave tomorrow, or you not leave at all.
Really? That's great. I've always wanted a new home here. Or not.
Wish you didn't have to go.
Turns out I couldn't break my lease in LA. Anyway, guess they really are a thing now. I'll come back. I don't really know what your job is, but I got a buddy to visit in Thailand. He travels the world doing what he loves best, still staring out the window, looking at the street. Everyone has their thing, I guess. Then he hits the nightlife. Why buy just one hooker when you can buy them all? I'm not used to these kind of shots in a Canon film without marquees for porno theaters in the background. He's paying top dollar to find his friend Jack Tucker.
Probably at Madame Pearl's whorehouse down the road.
Oh, guess I should have checked there first. Why didn't I just assume anyone I needed to find would be in a whorehouse? Just like you also assume that any cab driver will have a gun in the middle of a newspaper. That guy's not even working for the Viet Cong. That's just simply how they ask for cab fare this side of town. I sense a disco nearby, so this soundtrack is gonna skyrocket.
Jesus, waiting for suggestions. Here's scenarios.
It's like Rod Stewart is in the room with me right now. He'll find Tuck in the most sitcom way possible.
I'm looking for Jack Tucker. Is he around? Thanks.
Oh, Emmett Walsh is Jack Tucker. Of course he is. He needs his buddy Tuck to give him a boat so he can sneak in to rescue all the prisoners. This is the movie that Sound of Freedom thinks that it is. The characters even look kind of the same. And why is Jack surprised that Tuck's boat is shitty looking?
What the hell is that?
Like my daddy always said, don't believe everything you see.
That was in the context of pulling a coin out of your ear, not sneaking back into Nom. We could take off any minute. Just let me dry out my laundry first. I only wash my clothes about once a year. They've got all the equipment they need.
M16s, grenades, C4, LAW.
Just use a fishing pole and worms like a regular person. Though they need the most important item.
We could use a long-range chopper as a backup.
Now how in hell are we supposed to manage that?
I don't know, get Golan or Globus on the phone. They've got a warehouse full of them. I'd say they're ready. They've got the Bully's Raft from Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown. They're gonna win that trophy. Best test it out first. Thanks, could have just told me it was bulletproof. Now we have to buy more bullets. He knows where to get anything, including a plane.
In this place, you can count on people doing anything for money.
I want to play naked, hungry hippos. Ha 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 ha! Deal, my friend. Oh, I forgot that not only does this have James Hong from Ninja 3, but as you can see, it also has Officer Billy's chest hair. And while some hotels have complimentary mints, this one has complimentary henchmen hiding out in all the closets. You know, it would have been easier if you just, I don't know, shot him from inside the closet. Would have spared him a broken window fee. Damn, now the villains will have to go with Plan B. Why the hell wasn't that your Plan A? Should we blow up the room? No, let's stick a guy in the closet first and see how that goes. Either plan would have failed, though. It didn't even singe his chest hair. It gets to where they're not even letting him get out of the car first. And that doesn't even have anything to do with missing in action. They're just filming American Ninja nearby. I like when the car magically doesn't go in the water, so Braddock is here with a giant truck to make sure that car gets sunk. Hey, we're losing a lot of men. Maybe we should just let the POWs go. No, goddammit, you know how important car chases are for our booming economy. You're gonna put the action scene cleanup crew out of business. Now that that detour is over, he can go to a more quiet location, the jungles of Vietnam, if the bad guys don't catch up to him first. Guys, why are you even bothering? If Braddock doesn't kill you, then a shark surely will. They've got time to kill on this trip. The director and cinematographer will spend it debating on if they want to turn it into a slasher film. And how the hell did this guy even get on board? Doesn't matter. He's been punched in the ribs to death. After getting lost 12 times and even making it to Greenland at one point, they've gotten to their location.
There she is, Vietnam.
That's the island of the alive, you moron. It's alive mutants are the last thing we want rescued. Now it just feels like Cannon also wanted to get this in theaters before 85's Commando came out too. Let's take a break. I myself feel like I need to apply some bug spray.
He is the only soldier.
Who is he?
Who is capable of defeating the secret Black Star Army. American Ninja.
Starts Friday, September 20th. Consult your local listing.
We're back, and he can finish what he started, bumping off anyone who is in the waters without a proper fishing license. We'll just assume he's killing off the right people. Thanks for the help, Tuck. 10 years after the war ended, the Viet Cong have gotten a little soft. They can be taken down by just shoving them into a puddle like Braddock is a bully pushing the beach nerds. As for the guys in the boat, they won't be catching any illegal smallmouth bass around these parts again. Be careful, the place may be trapped. Wow, I can't believe my old practical jokes are still here. Where's that hole in the ground that I put a blanket and a piece of pie over? This Ewok village is a little more packed than he thought it would be. Let's see if he brought the right weapons. What? 12 bratwurst, bag of jerky, and the March issue of Me So Horny magazine? Damn it, I accidentally brought Tuck's bag. It's very intense watching him sneak into the base, but even then, I'm still wondering, what's Anne up to? Is she gonna come back into the movie? What was that all about? It's all going according to plan. He's setting up devices programmed to explode as soon as the cameras are set up to film some bitchin' shots. I doubt this will even faze the villains. Something tells me that huts around here just spontaneously explode every other week anyway. That's why they're doing very clumsy things, like just falling in line and waiting to be shot by Braddock and his exploding bullets. That was so powerful, the bullet was actually a dud. Tragedy strikes when, oh no, I blew up the prisoners. Huh? I'm not trying to let you out. Thanks, I guess, asshole. He'll tell him where the Americans are.
Yeah, where are they? They have moved less than 3 hours ago, somewhere farther inland.
You just blew up a Red Cross, you monster! And we're off. I swear we're going to the right location now. They had to make a pit stop first. Going to the wrong location and still blowing it up was an excellent way to pad this out to 1 hour and 40 minutes. We don't want it to be too much longer though. No need to make the full 3-hour trip. They'll just find the convoy right away along the road. No need to even get out of the raft. Just start shooting. Chuck Norris is every video game cheat code put into one person. The movie as a whole, it's not like it's great, but it is one of the go-to Chuck Norris movies that pops up in your head when you think of his filmography, helped by some pretty iconic 80s action movie shots like this one. That was so popular it was parodied by Norris himself in Sidekicks. The movie pretty much is what it is. If someone tells you the plot, Chuck Norris goes to Vietnam to rescue POWs, it'll play out like you'd think it would, line delivery and all.
You guys are going home.
We're going home?
Damn right.
Don't sound too excited. Norris really does have a great look, and an intense stare too, and I've seen him be good in plenty of stuff, especially Code of Silence, but he's pretty damn wooden here. It is a fast-paced flick though, and does what it sets out to do, but Rambo 2 was the better film. You felt Rambo's thirst for revenge in that movie, and while his monologue was way more powerful in the first film, he still acts his ass off in the monologue in the second. As for this film, do you want to just see some shit blow up? Well, you'll get your money's worth. While it was disliked by critics, same with Rambo 2, honestly, audiences really did take to it, and Norris himself even talked about how great it was to see it in a packed theater with vets. I just wish he emoted a little more. They'll make it out alive. As for Tuck, he's gonna stay behind and make sure there's not one can that isn't filled with bullets. He still hates these cans! Luckily for them, once they take off, they're only a couple of miles away from Town Hall, where landing a helicopter is the scariest shit they've ever seen. Gotta make sure the timing is right, like it's a rom-com, where they've gotta race to the location just as he's saying, "We got no POWs here." Then they all lived happily ever after. The movie was a decent hit, but even if it wasn't, it doesn't matter. Missing in Action 2 is already made, and we're getting that in theaters in '85. Curious about what a Missing in Action sequel looks like? Well, funny story, you actually just saw the Missing in Action sequel, technically. More on that when we come back.
An American hero story continues. Chuck Norris, Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. Rated R.
Missing in Action 2, now playing at theaters everywhere.
The movie has to be a sequel, right? After all, it's called Missing in Action 2, and the poster says, "An American hero's story continues." Excellent, we're gonna pick up on this cliffhanger and find out exactly how this press conference went and which one will be nicknamed the funny one. And Braddock will race to the airport to declare his love for Anne before she takes her new job in Paris. Wait, the beginning? What's going on here? Okay, so here's what happened with this film. As I said in the first part, the two were made back to back, but the Missing in Action sequel was actually the first film, and Missing in Action 1 was to be the second. In an interesting twist of fate, though, the Cannon Group looked at the two and thought that the original second was a much stronger film and would be more commercially successful, so they switched them out and released that one first, and then sold the beginning as a prequel, as the movie is set during Vietnam and is about Braddock's experiences in a POW camp. That's why the opening credits on the first say based on characters created by, as MIA The Beginning has a different crew than the other. Lance Houle is the director of this one, and the writers were Arthur Silver, Larry Levinson, and the late Steve Bing. I was hoping there'd be a writer from Kangaroo Jack on this. There's less Friday the 13th The Final Chapter crew here, as even the music is done by... wait, what? Oh, okay, different Brian May. This one's the composer of Mad Max and The Road Warrior. You can even hear some of the same music from those here. As much as I want to see a Chuck Norris nom film with the music from Queen, will the most important character return, though? Where's the helicopter sounds over the Cannon logo? We're already starting in Vietnam in the early 70s. It'll be a whole movie of them learning to do all the helicopter tricks from the first. Who the hell are these guys?
By the way, congratulations. Have you thought of a name for your kid?
Well, we're still fighting.
Doesn't matter, you're not gonna meet your son anyway. You are so dead, that man just cursed you. And there's Colonel Braddock, clearly much younger. His beard hasn't reached its full potential yet, so he's just got the porn stash to start with. They are scouting locations for at least 20 Cannon War films and about 30 New World Pictures movies. He's looking less like he's in charge and more like he's going all in on his audition for the Lost Village People character, the Colonel. Remember, the movie can't be official until someone explodes in slow motion. There, now we can continue with the story. Get another one in there too for good measure. Should I at least show another line?
You okay? I'm fine! Let's go to the chopper! Come on!
Why even bother showing a line? We already know it's gonna have something to do with a chopper or someone screaming, ouch! This chopper is carrying the main character though, so when it gets hit, it's just gonna smoke a little bit so the characters can jump off in a case of, looks like them Duke boys better get a pilot's license, or at least take some swimming lessons. Oh, the title cards help with the other characters, by the way. Why is it introducing them like when our heroes all got detention at the beginning of Screwballs? And since this is sold as a prequel, are they all gonna die? None of these supporting characters are in the first, especially a certain other character. We can replace the chopper with about 100 others in the first. This does give some more backstory, though, on the missing POW issue in the 1980s, as it includes real-life footage of Reagan's 1984 Memorial Day speech, honoring the Vietnam vets and putting a spotlight on the ones still missing.
The fullest possible accounting of those missing in action.
Well, I wasn't expecting Reagan to do the title drop, but I am curious how his Indiana Jones character would get all the boys out. Braddock, meanwhile, is taking his complaints of this prison right to the manager.
You may not give a damn about the Geneva Convention, but someday you're gonna be held accountable.
Did he just threaten to sue him? I don't know if a lawsuit will help you in this scenario, Braddock. As much as Norris may have some emoting difficulties, Colonel Yin, on the other hand...
He defends the country that has forgotten you, an outlaw nation the rest of the world reviles!
Jesus Christ, he doesn't let being in a Cannon film stop him from going for pure Oscar gold. Working in the fields, though, allows him to go full beard. If he smears more mud on his face, he can easily pretend to be David Carradine and sneak the hell out of there. Or just making a run for it will do. Damn, this is the one where we find out the exterminator is actually a traitorous bastard. Downside, he may be dead. Upside... The waterfall at least put out the fire on his mannequin. I don't think Braddock is going to be the one who leads them out of here. I'm putting my money on Stephen Williams. Creighton Duke knows how to defeat Jason Voorhees. See, there's too many trees here for there not to still be a Friday the 13th connection. He's got all the right weapons.
I'd rather die here than have to explain to my kid that I was a gutless traitor.
At least I've seen my kid.
Ooh, shots still fired in the camp. It's his harsh words that are gonna cut the deepest in this jungle. That pisses off Braddock, but good.
Back off, mister.
I think you need a timeout immediately. Really, it's the lack of sleep that's the worst, due to all the racket.
God, I gotta get some sleep. But whenever I close my eyes, I see my wife, Gina.
Well, you're having better dreams than Braddock. We already know what his wet dreams look like. Sometimes the acting in this, well, it's something.
You do, nothing bothers you. I'm just not tough like you.
Aw, don't sell yourself short, Private Sonny Bono. So the enemy wants Braddock to confess to war crimes, and they'll torture anyone to get his confession. God damn it, Braddock, confess! Confess! Even Stephen Williams' Nestor joined the other side to survive. They're all just trying to out-badass each other.
You're nothing! Joe! Joe!
You lose.
I never lose, except in Karate Cop. I lost in that one. Hell, they even tell him they'll fully release him if he confesses. Dude, sweet deal!
You know I can't do that.
Now you have no choice but to face off against Sub-Zero in the Running Man games. Also, Yin is picking up his insults from Nestor.
Your wife is planning to remarry.
She what? That bitch. I've only been here for a month. I'll sign right away. I gotta put a stop to that wedding.
If my wife is getting remarried, I'm happy for her.
You fool. I'll personally drive you to the church myself to stop the wedding. And why is it a wrestling film now? It's called Quiet Time for a reason. They make this a fair fight. Nestor will be the one who fights Braddock. It's all the entertainment they got. Or maybe it's that Colonel Yin just really wants them to reenact his favorite scene from Cool Hand Luke, when Luke tired his opponent out. Tomorrow, boys, it's an egg-eating competition. Also, where's all the villains from the flashbacks in the other film? Are these two even connected? It's still just reminding me of Cool Hand Luke.
You see what happens when one does not follow my direction immediately.
What we have here is a failure to communicate classic movie lines. Only one thing can get his strength back, that's right. Beer dropped off by his buddy Zac Efron. Beer is Braddock's spinach. Ah, that's good. Ew, light beer. This place is hell. Now he has the strength to take a few more hits.
I'm the officer in charge. You have to punish somebody, then punish me.
Yes, sit him down for a screening of Top Dog. What? No, anything but that. I beg you, put a bag over my head with a rat in it. Ew, rat juice. This isn't pairing well with the beer. I should have had a nice red Zinfandel. Let's take a break. He's gonna need a sink and some Listerine.
So now the wolf has a wolf pack. Lone Wolf McQuaid, starring Chuck Norris, David Carradine, and Leon Isaac Kennedy.
Anyway, back to work. So guys, when's the corn supposed to start growing? Don't ask questions, just dig, damn it! Ooh, the helicopter is back. You survived, you old son of a bitch! You think I'd miss this party? Seriously, the helicopter is bringing the party to them. Or a clown car for hookers. What a deal.
You know, this time they're all virgins.
What? You brought Bo Derek too? Perfect! We don't need to be rescued anymore.
Colonel, I don't think there is a search team.
Who cares? We are getting so laid tonight. Francois is on Yin's bad side, though. I asked for at least one redhead, and stop with your silly joke of bringing Magnum condoms. It's not funny anymore. And what's with this guy's obsession with Braddock's wife, who is apparently sending Braddock letters? He'll never know what's in it, though. Thank God. I've got about 15 Anns waiting for me at home. I was praying my wife wouldn't find out about them. Out of sight, out of mind. And I wonder what Tuck is doing during all of this. Probably off somewhere himself, watching some hookers giggle and take their clothes off too. I sense someone is going to help them out. Look, the leader of the local Boy Scout troop. Nice shorts. It does have something in common with the other film.
Name's Emerson, Clive Emerson.
Pure rudeness when it comes to handshakes. So this guy is on some kind of Australian human rights mission or something, and he says he has a team nearby willing to strike if he doesn't return. What's happening?
What the hell's going on? Damn if I know.
Thanks for the help, Braddock. Just have another beer or something. He puts Yin in his place with his own insults.
Now look, I'm tired of hanging around under the sun playing footsie with a half-pint would-be dictator.
Ooh, ouch. The Colonel didn't see that coming. Turns out he was lying. There's no International Freedom House, and he doesn't have a team waiting nearby. But he's got a camera, I guess.
Damn! One thing for sure. He's got guts.
Yeah, that's nice. Can I eat those guts for dinner? I'm starving. His poker face is ending really quickly. Or he's starstruck. Wait, I know you, Colonel. You were hip in Man with the Golden Gun. I bet that's where he's picking up the one-liners.
I'm weary of playing footsie with you.
Okay, you need to work on your threats some more, unless you're flirting with him. I still have a good feeling that Emerson will be the one who gets them out. And by that I mean we'll make sure to develop your film role when we return. For now, we're gonna eat your guts. As for the guy with malaria...
He's dying.
Shit, is there a Walgreens around here somewhere? Don't worry, Yin has the next best thing. A shot of wild turkey. That'll clear his sinuses right up. Braddock even agrees to announce his guilt for war crimes, if it means getting the shot, and a couple of ibuprofen as well. Braddock has had a gigantic headache ever since his fight with Nestor. And at least this whole war crimes accusation thing is a plot point that does play into the events of the other. Also, signing this document will guarantee that he can't sue them for fraud. The pictures on their Airbnb page were a lot cleaner than the reality. They're all happy now. This means they can go home. But the only one who doesn't trust Yin is Braddock. But why? I'm sure it was a simple mistake that he accidentally put poison in him and not a miracle cure.
I gave poor Franklin such an overdose of opium that he could walk from here to Los Angeles.
Honest mistake. Once again, Bolero made opium look like so much fun. And why do all of these movies keep tracing back to Bolero? They must get rid of the body, though, which is actually still alive, and is shocking enough to Braddock that he actually is screaming his lines. Which makes sense when you look up the backstory. While his performance may not be the most interesting in the world, it isn't because he's sleepwalking through it. All of the movies were very personal for Norris, as he took an interest in it as soon as Lance Hool brought him the idea, and the two tried selling it to a lot of different studios before landing at Cannon. He wanted to do the movies to honor his brother, who did lose his life in Vietnam, and some of the more emotional moments are due to him thinking back to his brother so he can get in the right headspace. It's just that, to go back to the Rambo movies, Sylvester Stallone is a better actor, and something like First Blood has way more emotional depth to it than these. He still looks cool when he's kicking ass or breaking some necks, though. Oh, thank God, that did the trick. I've been sleeping on a rock for the past few months. When it's Braddock's chance to escape, perhaps laying a little lower will spare him the wrath of the exterminator. And if not, don't forget the waterfall will put out the fire. It's gonna really put a damper on tonight's dinner conversation.
You know, I might be wrong, but I don't think it's a very good idea to kill me.
You sound awfully biased to me. We're gonna have to bring in a second opinion. I like when Nestor says, "You're gonna need me around." Braddock will attempt to get revenge on you. Like Nestor is the only one who knows that the formula for canon films exists. And it's gonna happen soon, too. As in before bringing in the tomatoes to make our avocado toast soon. It's easy for him to do this when the others are all combing the area to find him. No, not down here. I don't think. Ugh, should have brought my binoculars. He's even getting revenge for Bridge Guy earlier. You asshole, those were simply bridge repairmen. Oh no, this is awful. You're supposed to wait for Molaram to be on the bridge before you destroy it. You learned nothing from the temple-like scene in the first. Let's take another break. We've got a mole in our crops. No, really, something's still eating our vegetables, Colonel.
In Vietnam, there are no martyrs. They've been fighting for their lives since the day they were born. The Expendables.
We're back, people.
My God, it's a bomb!
It really could have been anyone who put that there. Have we checked to see if Miles O'Keefe or Michael Dudikoff are around anywhere? How are there any more enemy bases left for him to blow up in the other film? Being imprisoned hasn't slowed down his reflexes. Damn, Chuck Norris literally dodged a bullet. Relax, we can outrun them. See, we're in that time of autumn when the leaves change to the color of fire. I'm as surprised as anyone that this guy is still alive. He's the one who was talking about his son earlier. How did you not die 5 minutes into the movie? I figured he'd be dead right along with these extras. At least he wasn't on fire. Whoops, hang on. Did someone say fire? Yes, exploding bodies in slow motion also means we're in the climax. I'm just kidding. Exploding bodies are all over the film. It just means you're watching any 5 minutes of Missing in Action 2. I can see why they preferred to release the other film first and hold off on this, even though I don't think this is that bad, really. It's just that the other film has a more engaging plot and 3-act structure to it, and the acting was collectively a little better, even if this one has the superior villain.
You idiot!
Truly, he is the Colonel Ren Hoek of North Vietnam. The movie is like the first in that it is what it is. The first was no better or worse than you'd get with a plot about Chuck Norris doing Rambo 2. And this one is really what you'd expect out of a Chuck Norris version of the middle part of The Deer Hunter. It sort of feels like it'd be an extended full-length flashback put in the previous film, and I say sorta because for 2 movies made back to back, the flashbacks in the other tell a different story than this, with completely different side characters and villains. It works a little as a revenge film though. He's up against an enemy that is willing to pull out all the stops to get this one guy. They even pretend to shoot Yin themselves to lure him out. But when that doesn't work, I don't know, fly in a guy who got his shoelaces caught in the chopper when they tried taking off. Hell, that was Vasily, who's still alive, by the way.
Vasily, anything you want me to tell your kid?
Then Nestor respectfully found his son and tackled him like his father wanted. One cliche is still there, though. Nestor actually grows a pair and saves them, and then is killed a mere 2 seconds later. I don't know why the bad guys are still putting up a fight. Braddock has his gun back. The war is over. You're all screwed. You're gonna get blown up somehow. At least I think that's what's happened to Yin. I've only got Braddock's face to go off of. I don't know what that means. That's the same look he'd give if it was a villain who died, or if one of his friends accidentally blew up. They're packing up and getting the hell out of there, so I guess Yin is dead. Oh, okay, he's still alive. He's a part-time magician. If there's decoy boots laying around, he can slip into any trap door and hide out. Ugh, finally, some peace and quiet. Oh, and Braddock can teleport too.
You really didn't think I'd leave without knowing for sure you were dead?
Yes, we traded phone numbers for a reason, remember? This is still leaving me more confused.
That is why I kept you alive all these years.
Years? I thought this was all taking place over the course of a month. Whatever, there's 10 whole minutes left and it's a Chuck Norris movie. It has to end with hand-to-hand combat. You could fight like this the whole time, Braddock? Why didn't you try escaping sooner? Huh, that was quick. Is the fight over?
Not yet.
God damn it, just kill him already. I have a whole third film to get to after this. He's learned his lesson. A good nipple pinch will make him see the error of his ways. Now he can really leave him be and let him think over what he's done, mister. Oh, and here's a little something extra to make sure he doesn't act up again.
This is for me.
I feel like that's just what Chuck Norris says when he leaves any building. Like he exits a Hardee's to get lunch, says, "This is for me." Then the Hardee's star explodes. And now we know the beginning of the Missing in Action saga. Thanks. This gave me no new information except where the paperwork came from and that he has a wife, I guess, which will be covered in the third film too. This only did about half the business of the first, but the first one already gave the two films together a profit, so it was just extra money by the time this came out in '85. But we'd have to wait until 1988 to find out how the trilogy ends in Braddock Missing in Action 3, and you better hurry! Reagan's presidency will be over soon!
Chuck Norris is on his way to rescue the orphans of a forgotten war. Braddock, Missing in Action 3, rated R.
Starts Friday at a theater or drive-in near you.
If you thought the Missing in Action movies couldn't possibly be more Rambo if they tried, there's still little things they can do. These titles evolved to put the character's name first. We can do that. Instead of Rambo First Blood Part 2, we've got Braddock Missing in Action 3. I can't wait for Sheriff Dan's Silent Rage 2. Like the other movies in the series, there's some interesting backstory here. MIA 3 was released in 1988, 3 years after the second film, and interest in a third film came about because in the late 80s, Canon was going through some financial problems, due in part to the disappointments of Superman 4 and Masters of the Universe, so they thought maybe another Missing in Action film will be a safe bet. At first, Norris wasn't totally interested until he began seeing stories about soldiers getting their kids out of Vietnam. After that, he became very gung-ho about doing the flick. He even co-wrote the script, which does have to do with Braddock returning to Nam to find his lost wife and son. Does Anne know about any of this? Given that the first was the more successful of the previous two, it made sense they'd want a lot of the same crew back. It's got the same cinematographer as the first, the same composer, and James Bruner co-wrote the script again. Joseph Zito was even attached to direct again, but left due to creative differences and was replaced by Norris's brother Aaron, who was already a second-unit director, and it'd be the first of 7 Chuck Norris films that he'd direct. And just how much is this like the first? Oh my god, the helicopter sounds over the Canon logo are back! As for the other music... I knew it was them Duke boys that put a stop to their Saigon moonshiner competition. Y'all finally out of business. Wait, don't start the party without us. Aw, damn it, you already started wrecking shit. You're supposed to wait for the cases of beer to be flowing in. I don't know if this is supposed to be right after he escaped the POW camp or not, but somewhere along the way, he was able to shave the beard back down to the mustache. What? I thought I'd give the stash another shot. And then Braddock declared himself King of Vietnam. Yes. Everything the facial hair touches is mine. Everyone's packing up and leaving fast. Burn every file you have. Who cares if it's still on the desk? The building's probably gonna be demolished anyway. So this is Braddock's wife Lynn, a Vietnamese woman, and it was already news to me in the second film that he had a wife, let alone that she herself was already from and resides in Saigon. She's got a lot to answer for. Just how true was it when the Colonel taunted Braddock by saying, "Your wife is totally cheating on you, bro. She's gonna remarry." That must make you mad, right? Like, seriously, this whole quest to find his wife would be a lot more impactful if she was ever a presence in any of these films. I feel like I know more about her high as shit friend. She went out like she lived, high on life and completely fried. Some of these buildings seem more bulletproof than Braddock. We see one get destroyed, and then seconds later, I don't know, seems fine. I think the explosion cleaned it up a little. It's a classic sitcom-style miscommunication. When Braddock sees the charred corpse of her friend and thinks, that's probably my wife, I don't know, I'll just say she's dead, now to hook up with some hot diplomats in the 80s. We get a flashback, though, showing their love. He thinks it was her body because it was wearing the sweet bracelet he won for her in the crane machine. Actress Mickey Kim plays Lynn, and she was also an uncredited hooker in The Last Hunter, which we spotlighted in 1984 in film. That's enough for me to officially classify the films as being in the same universe. That ain't the only movie I'm gonna put this in the same universe with.
I lost them! They're stolen!
I need your papers!
Keith David? Okay, it's a bit of a stretch for me to think that this is all the same world as Oliver Stone's Platoon. So Lynn is actually a translator for the embassy, who is stuck there because her papers were stolen along the way. This part is actually quite good and tragic because she's acting her ass off while Braddock's not even fazed from the background explosions. It's like two different movies are happening. Here we've got the country's Billy Zane trying to escape with the women and children by any means necessary.
Hey, take off!
Ow, shit! That'll be fine. In the first film, he never acted like he'd been shot in the back. It'll be healed quick. We now jump to the present, where he's gonna get some very good news from the Reverend.
I'm Reverend Polanski from the American Children's Mission in Vietnam.
Reverend Polanski? Look, I appreciate you pitching the pianist to me, but we're Canon Films. We're more in the nom business. You'll want a bigger budget for that one. 13 years later, he finally gets the news that his wife is still alive and that he even has a son.
I'm talking about your wife, Mr. Braddock. Lin Tang Kang.
You're mistaken.
Yeah, I already traveled back to Nam in '84. I don't really want to go back. I don't have Tuck around to give me boats. And what evidence do you got?
Why is it so hard for you to believe me?
Because I saw my wife's body burned to a crisp, that's why.
You may have seen a body, but it wasn't your wife.
Huh, never thought about that. Guess there were a lot of other bodies around there at the time. He doesn't even consider going back to check? Why? Beforehand, an episode of Spider-Man inspired him to go back. Maybe he's still not over his breakup with Anne, who is again never mentioned in the film. Hell, it's a busy night for him. Immediately, the CIA wants to have a word. Guys, I have a lot on my schedule. I also gotta train a kid who's getting bullied at school. Can you at least try to get Bronson on the phone to help me lighten the load? We're meeting all kinds of new faces.
It's been a long time, Colonel Braddock. How have you been?
You know how I've been, little John.
I heard you just met with Friar Tuck. There's a lot more gold being stored by Prince John, and we got word that Maid Marian is still alive after the fall of Sherwood Forest. So now he believes that his wife is alive.
What are you going to do about getting them out? Nothing.
Why should we bother? We know you're a one-man army. You can get them out yourself without our help. Braddock is a lot more one-linery in this one.
I don't step on toes, Little John. I step on necks.
Sounds like you need to turn on a light switch. You're stepping on a lot of things when walking to the bathroom at night, Braddock. Thank God that's over. Something about how he said the name Little John was making his lines way less cool. It'd be better if he were played by a fox, and he still needs to work on his lines.
You want to try knocking me off?
Yeah, that's gonna cost you a hell of a lot extra, buddy. Kidding, Mick here will be the Tuck of the film. No, seriously, he serves the same function and has the same interest in strip clubs and booze. He's the same guy. Only this time, the CIA is trying to stop him from going back to Nam. You know, none of this would be happening if you hadn't confronted him that his wife was still alive in the first place. Have you tried giving him a stern talking to?
Braddock! Stop right there.
Damn, thought for sure that would work. With Mick rescued, we can finally pick up that conversation we were having about knocking you off. He's choosing the best escape route possible, the one with the most ramps and randomly placed barrels of fire. Even more than wrecked cars, though. I'm counting not one, but 2 Pepsi logos. It'll probably even be the complimentary beverage on the plane. Of course, Mick also has a plane. We'll be taking off from this field in Ohio. We'll make it back to Nam in about 2 hours, Braddock. Oh, I guess I should ask where we're going.
Are you gonna tell me where we're going now, as if I didn't know?
Along the coast.
Well, that narrows it down. Thanks, Jim. So they made it back to Nam, same as it ever was.
I never thought I'd be coming back.
Well, you've obviously never been approached for a sequel before. Sure, we could just land, but gotta do it in the most Tom Cruise way possible. We even got another raft this time, too, though it's not as cool without the shark faces drawn on it. Now to drop right on the boat so this can be extremely badass. Ooh, so close. You almost won Vietnam Fear Factor. They've clearly been preparing for years for a Chuck Norris invasion. They're already out there with their boats after that glorious beard was picked up on the radar. He's got everything he needs. What? Guns? I don't need this. I just need to bring Lynn her passport. Then we can leave. I don't want to shoot anyone. See, things don't seem so bad here. Reverend Polanski leads them all in saying grace. It'll take Braddock a while to find them. Oh, there he is.
Bless dear Lord the food we take. Oh my God.
Language, you damn heathen! I really didn't think you'd be here so fast. How is this an hour and 43-minute movie? Look, that's where your wife lives. Bye. Let's roll credits. Or at least cut to a commercial break. There'll be some predicaments that come up.
Top mission to destroy the powers of madness and secure the future of the free world is the top mission. Coming soon to your screen.
We're back, and Braddock has found his wife and even met his son, Van. I just gotta know, Lynn, is this my son? The Colonel told me some awfully nasty gossip about you. What a heartwarming moment.
Bon, Manjoy?
I speak English, brother.
Great, the boy is already a wise ass. Go to your room! He's mad about Braddock deserting him. No, that's not true. I still think he had another wife that he deserted. MIA 2 heavily implied his wife was from the States. Even Lynn is bummed.
I'm sorry I'm no longer pretty for you.
You'll always be beautiful to me.
It's okay. In DC, we have the best salons. I'll take you to a Supercuts. I guess the rest of it will be them just walking back to the boat and easily leaving the country. Oh, crap. Shouldn't have been walking in the middle of the street. And what's even worse than that is dealing with this smart-ass little punk.
It might be a tight squeeze, but I think you're going to enjoy the ride, Dan.
If you say so, brother.
Watch your mouth! Braddock's like, if I knew about this kid, I wouldn't have come back, no matter how much I worked on my lines.
He will need some time.
We have all the time in the world.
Well, good job, Lazenby. You just doomed your wife. Seriously, what's with this kid?
You don't care about me now. You only care about him.
Did they only have one TV channel that showed nothing but Aaron spelling dramas? Bold choice, making the kid who needs rescued from a war zone be completely unlikable. Aw, damn it, don't take me, take the kid, please, for the love of God, just take the kid. Today's role of the evil officer will be General Quack.
Very foolish to come back. I am General Quack.
Yeah, I'll be calling you General Cock. There will be no further discussion. Oh wait, I know you. You were in Babylon 5. Can I get an autograph before I kill you? They're still pissed at him for his supposed war crimes. Whatever, they'll all be safe. Well, thanks for coming back, Braddock. Don't know what we would have done without you. Okay, I couldn't show all of this, but it was actually pretty graphic when Lynn was shot in the head. Of all 3 movies, this one has the honor of making me go, oh, Jesus! So you're gonna torture me again, huh? Okay, let's do this. Get the rat out and stick it in my mouth again. I know the drill. You can even shoot me in the back again if you want. Maybe it'll heal even quicker than before. Hell, this time out, they've developed jigsaw-like contraptions. If he makes the wrong move while tied up, it'll trigger a device that sets off the gun and kills his son. That's supposed to make me nervous. Give me the shotgun. I'll shoot the boy myself, the little brat. Just kidding. He's totally concerned about the kid.
I'll do whatever you want. Just let the boy go.
I don't believe a word that just came out of your mouth. General Quack is at least a fun villain. He's basically the Colonel from Part 2 again, only with a much bigger maniacal laugh, like they brought in a villain from the Rambo animated series instead. The scene goes on for a while, too. Even Quack is like, is there a reason this is the longest of the 3 movies? Nothing more intense than seeing the tapping of fingers, waiting for Braddock to either mess up, or the General is just feeling the cap cramps from the spicy tuna he had for lunch. Also, the movie is Lethal Weapon now. Joke's on you, his wet dreams are still about being deep in the field of battle. All you're doing is just making his anger stronger and his erection bigger. Steady, don't set the gun off. No! Make another noise and I'll shoot you myself. Tell me this is all a practical joke. Ugh, candid camera sucks over here. I'll never let you forget this, Dad! I know, little shit. Now take him to the next item of torture, the comfy chair. Sir, the comfy chair was blown up in the last film. Oh, well, give him a chance to escape. We gotta move this plot along. If there's time, he'll rescue Van. Now we can play the quiet game, kid. Don't say a frickin' word or you're going back in the cell. Guess we messed up, boss. No need to chase them, so they got away. It's not like it affects us, really. Shut up, you fool. We have nothing else to do. We have to stop Braddock and the kid from getting to the embassy and being a big tattletale. They are searching every orphanage in the area. I want no teddy bear left unbeheaded. Search for clues. Turn over every tub of gruel if you have to. Oh, there's Van. How is everyone so damn easy to find in this? Try being a smartass now and see where that gets you. Good thing Braddock isn't standing out. Say, you're far more greased up and ready to thrust than I'm used to seeing around here. And I mean everything is easy to find here. Ah, good. My spy gear and weapons still in the same spot in the water where I left them. They aren't gonna stand a chance with Norris watching. You can't actually cause explosions with your angry stare, Braddock. Or maybe he can. I'm learning more about his powers. I was joking before, but I guess he really can teleport. Yeah, that'll do me some good. I'm not used to doing this in broad daylight. These clothes would help me out better at night. Now it's not making a difference. Also, it's like 100 degrees out. Wearing all black is really hot. He can still sneak around enough for the guards to go, huh? When he comes to, the boot print on his head will let him know what happened. It's the first mission he's ever regretted. Oh god, that's a lot of kids. I was annoyed by just one. I'm gonna have to adopt them all, aren't I? It's even becoming the prototype for Rambo 5 and definitely Sound of Freedom again. Only a much more R-rated Sound of Freedom, as he has to beat a guy off of a young girl. And takes his time doing it too. Calling that whole sequence unpleasant is putting it lightly, and tonally a little weird, as it's sandwiched between death scenes that are already hilarious enough, and then top even themselves. Good God, it's like everyone gets an epic final villain death, including his own wife! Don't worry about fitting on the raft, kids. We'll figure that out later. This is 3 whole movies all begging me for a Temple of Doom reference every 5 minutes. Only if Indiana Jones still had his gun, and it was much bigger, and he needed to wipe his nose a little. We'll be right back. I'm running out of things to say about people jumping away from explosions.
Fuck you, asshole. Soldier Terminator. Don't miss it. See it soon on your screen.
We're back, people. Braddock's still here and still blowing up shit. We're on our way home, kids. Huh? We can't hear you on account of you blowing our eardrums out! Even though Cannon made this during some hard times, they still didn't skimp on the action budget, but apparently they skimped on some other things. Chuck Norris was extremely proud of the flick, and at the time considered it to be one of his best films. That led to his major disappointment in how Cannon didn't put much into the advertising budget and did very little to promote it. Norris even threatened to sue over that, citing that just putting the movie out and letting it die would hurt his career. You get a sense of that in the poster. The first 2 posters look like they want to kick your ass themselves. The poster for this has a distinct, you're just gonna rent this on video quality to it. I like the foreign poster better, where it looks like they switched Chuck Norris out for Richard Harrison. There were other problems too, in that people died during the production of it. 4 officers were killed in a helicopter crash while making it, ironically on the same day that the verdict in the Twilight Zone movie trial came in. So I probably shouldn't have as many helicopter jokes in this review. Looking at this, I'm surprised the entire country wasn't set ablaze due to the production. There is an extra level of suspense in it because of the whole saving the kids element, as manipulative as that is. But it's hard not to be a little on edge when there's actual explosions behind them. Norris's performance is even a little better in this, maybe because we do get to know somewhat more about him as a character, even if the trilogy is like it's making up shit as it goes along. Don't get me wrong, it's still pretty thin, and sometimes could be called Braddock Beyond Thunderdome, but I'll take what I can get with these. At least we get a few human moments before getting back to the flipping and neck breakings. He's killing these people like he's a damn land shark in a Roger Corman film. Given Aaron Norris was a stuntman, as a director he makes sure these kicks look like they really hurt. Christ, that broke my ribs. Also, this far into the movie, I'm picking up that the biggest dimension in the villain is angrily screaming the hero's name.
Braddock! 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 Braddock!
He screams the name Braddock very well. Again, don't worry about the weight limit, kids. We do have Santa's list to work with. If any of you are on the naughty list, you'll have to stay behind. Sorry, Van. Braddock was trained in everything in the military. He can fight, shoot, drive a boat, and fly a plane. Yes, the plane has been shot, but if Braddock can push through with a hole in his back, then so can the plane. At least he has a chance to bond with his son. Here, let me move the dead body out of the way. Now pop a squat. Honestly, I could have used more moments like this.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine too.
See, we can be friends when you're not giving me attitude. I wonder how this plane full of kids will react to just crash landing on the ground. remember what I said about quiet time, no noise for 5 minutes. They just need to go a couple of blocks and they're at the border, so he and the boy can have another father-son moment.
On my way over here, I was wondering what you would be like.
To say I'm disappointed is an understatement. Kidding, he's okay in this scene, but it'd be a better moment if Van wasn't annoying through most of it. He even keeps his promise to the CIA, too. He does step on necks. And it's almost like Joseph Zito is still directing. Like Jason Voorhees, why use a door when a window will work? And he didn't use the door to get inside, so why use it to go back outside? And blowing up ain't gonna hurt him either. Sure, his insides are soup now, but that just means he's more flexible. Come on, Braddock, live, damn it! We're nearing the end of the trilogy! A trilogy of movies that are all the definition of perfectly okay. Even this one still gives you what you asked for, 3 movies in, without offering anything too great, but not too terrible either. Other than the villains all getting better in each one, I love this Joker-like general who wants to destroy the border before he lets them escape.
Hold your position! He makes one wrong move, we'll climb up his ass.
Why does anything have to be up anyone's ass? Now this is what I call an action movie bonding moment. Here, son, hold the gun with me. We'll kill him together. It's like I'm watching a feel-good movie from Vought Industries. Even this guy is gonna die epically too. All you had to do was just stay inside and scream his name and you'd still be alive. Leave it to the end of the movie to leap across the finish line. Even with a modest budget and Norris threatening to sue, it still underperformed at the box office, falling short of its already small cost. You spent too much on the soundtrack, didn't you?
When I look into your eyes, it is the love of freedom.
Well, I stepped upon his neck. I put my foot up in your ass. I knocked out Ho Chi Minh with my freedom boner, which waves my flag in the wind. And that's the end of the America in Action trilogy, bro. You know what we need now? TV reboot. And if you didn't lose enough limbs reliving all the bodies flying through the fire, be sure to subscribe to our channel today and click the notification bell to get updates on new episodes, and we'll see you next week.
I will kill you, and I will burn those filthy children! Bedok! Dinva!